What happens when you take 17 tons of Soviet anger, compress it down into a fine pancake, give it 550 horsepower, and let it loose on the World of Tanks Blitz player base, the T100 LT. Now, these are 3 battles that happened in a row. In the T100 LT, this is the pancake of doom. If you know how to play this thing, it can be an almighty force on the battlefield. However, it can also go wrong very quickly if you're not very careful. Now, I heard the Karo there, because there are audio cues. When an enemy drives over, let's say, a broken car, you can hear that. So, he drove over that truck, he crushed that truck, I heard him, and now I know that he's there without having spotted him. And now, obviously, what I want to do, I know he has an autoloader. I want to peek him one by one. I do not want to give him the advantage of being able to use that auto-reloader. So, here... Okay, I'm gonna peek him again. Now I have a problem because this thing only has 310 alpha damage. So I will be struggling to kill him with another shot, but I want to get close here because this thing is very flat and very low. So I can get close to him here. Luckily, he's out of shells, and I can finish him off. And that is, well, 2k damage on a Karo. But I don't have a working ammo rack. I have 219 hit points. And, well, I have 60 seconds for the big repair kit and 40 seconds for the small repair kit. So... what happens now? Do we sit back and do a wait? Oh, hell no, that's not how I like to play, because remember, this game's about having fun, and the more fun you're having, the better it is, and essentially, my playstyle now has, over the last couple of years, developed in how much bullshit can I get away with while still doing quite well, and as it turns out, it is quite a lot, and now here comes the Jagdpanzer, but I'm trying to go for the track there. I have no idea how it hit his track and actually tracked him, but that's what I was aiming for, because if I'm tracking him, he can't turn. If he can't turn, he can't shoot me because he's a tank destroyer. Now, I can finally repair the ammo rack. And now we're back down to 5-second reload. And the Jagdpanzer here is chasing the Skoda. So obviously, I'm going to try to go for the track here, but he has a second repair kit. Now I know he's out of a repair kit, so I could shoot him again, track him, and he couldn't do anything. But in the meanwhile, we got an E4 here. And we can take out that guy, because if you have 3,400 DPM... you can do a lot despite only the 310 alpha damage if you have just 5 seconds of reload regularly. And now 3k damage right here. And now there are 2 enemies left, an IS-7 and the Object 752. And if you have this insane mobility with an effective power weight ratio of over 35, then of course you're not just going to drive straight into the enemy. I mean, I kind of did that with a Karo, but you can use all of the map, especially with a top speed of 68 kilometers an hour. You can go all over the place. And now I can simply go behind the I-7 and the object right here and once again approach them from a different angle, always using the entirety of the map to my advantage and never showing up right where the enemy expects me. And now right there, I got that hill to my side where the I-7 can't shoot over, which means I'm protected from the I-7, and now the object turns around, and obviously I'm not going to peek that, but now, if you look at that, I can use the dead mouse to protect myself from the object while firing at the I-7. Remember, as I always say, there should only be one tank that can fire at you at any moment. But those are ways where you can make that happen. And there. I wasn't spotted, but I was quick. And especially with a vehicle like this, you can play extremely quickly. And the faster you can think, the faster you can peek, the faster you can rack up 4,700 damage. Just like that. Which is absolutely beautiful. So, that's the first one. And now after this, the replay crashed, which means I had to reload the game because this is a great game that is made by great people. So, now we are in Rockfield. Same tank. Next game. Right after that one. What I'm going to do in Rockfield, I'm going to go into the bush. Because while playing aggressive is fun and extremely rewarding, and probably, I think, in my personal opinion, the best playstyle you can have, because it's just a lot of fun. Like, camping is not fun. Being a camper is not fun. But playing aggressive is a lot of fun, in my opinion. What do you think about that? Put it in the comments. If you play aggressive, you shouldn't play too aggressive, because sure, the enemy team composition can tell you what's going on. Like, they got an AMX-30 and stuff like that, which is their only medium tank, so they're probably not going to be very interested over here. But you never know where they're going to go. You could have a heavy tank, a mouse crawling up a hill. You can have a bad medium tank player that ends up in the city. Everything can happen. But in this case, the enemy team is on the other side of the map. The worst side of Rockfield, by the way. If you go over there, they have a lower chance of winning. That's just how Rockfield works. If you go over there, your chance of winning lowers quite a bit. Now, 311 meters. What does that tell us? Well, 300 meters is essentially the cutoff, because a lot of tier 10s have somewhere between 260 and 290 meters view range. Obviously, you have a slight bit of camo that comes on top of that, but after firing, most tanks have a camo of under 10%. But that means that if you're more than 300 meters from the enemy, you're not going to get spotted, even if you fire at them. If you're closer than 300 meters, there is a likelihood that you can get spotted after firing. So, in this case, 311 meters, he's never going to spot me. As long as nobody else comes closer than 300 meters, I'm not going to get spotted here. And I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's disconnected. Maybe he doesn't know how to drive. But you should know how to drive a tier 10. But, yeah, he just completely loses it. And this, again, these are a little bit more than 300 meters there. 280. This is sort of getting a bit close there. 280 meters. Obviously, it's an AMX-30, so you can risk it a little bit, but that is kind of the range, exactly like the 280 meters, where you're still safe that you're not going to get spotted. And I've done 3,000 damage, obviously, mostly to the poor 60 TP that just stood out in the open, and that is another very good reason why you should never stay out in the open and always play around cover. And when you're getting shot at, then don't stay in the place where you're getting shot at, unless obviously the enemy is reloading and you can shoot at them without getting shot by someone else, because you only want to engage one enemy at the same time. And I'm gifting the 183 some damage here that it doesn't deserve, but yeah, might as well. 4k damage, once again, has been achieved in this tiny little aggressive fun bag. So, I know he's not reloaded. I would have peeked him there, but he has already been finished off by the team. And another 4k damage battle right here. I mean, is it rare that you can get multiple 4k battles in a row? Not really. But you do need ever so slight tiny little bit of luck, because if you're unlucky, it's not going to happen. You can do 8, 9, 10 battles of 4,000 plus damage in a row, but eventually you're going to get an unlucky battle. But in this case, it doesn't stop here, because this is the one map where you need to know nothing about. Because there is one thing you need to know about Port Bay, and that is, if you don't take the ridgeline, you lose. That's pretty much it. That's the whole story of this map. If you don't take that ridgeline, you're probably gonna lose. That is the story of this map, which is not really good for the map. Because, you know, when you have like one relevant place, and then everybody that goes city is a bad player immediately. So, it's not very healthy for the game, but that's how Port Bay works, essentially. And the back shot is thrown away because he is in a position where he exposes himself to multiple enemies at the same time. And again, I'm trying to shoot the 183 here. I'm not trying to expose myself to the mouse, the T100, or the 50B. I'm trying to only have one enemy that's capable of shooting at me all the time. Obviously, it's harder to do than to say it, but again, here, I'm peeking in a way where only the mouse could theoretically shoot me, and even the mouse can't shoot me. Right, now I'm peeking the Sheridan, because the mouse is behind the hill now, and here's the 50B. Can the T100 shoot me? Can the 183 shoot me? Can the Sheridan shoot me? No, they can't. Only one target, and now there's two. Murat and the 50B. Right. So, again, they're not focusing on me. The Murat down there is going after a teammate. The 183 is pushing forward. He's not looking at me either, so I can take a shot of him as well. And once again, only exposing myself to as little as possible enemies as I can. Again, I'm not trying to over peek here. Why would I peek enough that the Sheridan can take a shot when I can simply shoot the 183 like this? And now I can take him out unless the Progetto gets him first, which he doesn't. And now, what do? Sheridan's right in front of me. He's a very juicy target. And obviously, I'm going to shoot at the Sheridan, because that T100, he could have pushed me a long time ago. And now he realizes that he's going to push me, and what am I doing? I'm not going to fight that guy. He has more hit points than me. And while it's most likely that I'm a better player, I don't have to fight him unless I have to. So I'm going to run away. Obviously, I'm going to wait for the shot here because I can take him out. And now the only enemy left alive is the T100. Now, what I'm going to do? Am I going to lead him away from my team? No, I'm going to lead him straight back into my team by driving into my team. And now I'm the one chasing him. Because now I'm on 800 HP, he's on 800 HP, and I've got 3 teammates around me. And he's going to run straight into an I-7 as well. And that will have been it for the little T100 LT. I gotta say, if you don't have the T100 LT, it is a lot of fun if you know what you're doing. If you got game awareness, if you got map awareness, this thing is entirely enjoyable. And I can highly recommend it.